Oh, here, we had one from, how often should you post your ad to Craigslist? Great question. Again, we don't work for Craigslist. We're trying to figure it out along with everybody else. I did attend an advanced Craigslist class a couple weeks ago. The standard advice is never, all right, Craigslist supposedly wants to make sure that you are a real person and not some kind of a bot or posting machine. So to look like a real person, and you are a real person, of course, never post more than once an hour. So for instance, if your property has 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms that are both available, post your 2-bedroom, wait 1 hour, then post your 3-bedroom. You can do that safely in the same day from what we understand. Then wait 2, 3, or more days, delete those 2 posts, and post again. Also, the advice is always log into your Craigslist account and always do the phone verification when they ask you to do the phone verification. Okay, Angie's asking, how do you remove from Craigslist? When Craigslist sends you the confirmation email, and the email says keep this email, you want to keep it. In order to delete your Craigslist post, you're going to open that email from Craigslist, click on the link, and then there will be a delete button or link right there. You delete your post, then go back to RentLinx and put a new one in. Okay. If we post to a site like Zillow, is the posting that you placed on their site the same? The information we send to Zillow is what you put in your RentLinx account. So I guess with one caveat, Zillow cannot handle rent ranges. So if you have a rent range on your unit, we will send just the low end of your rent range. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're posting to Zillow individually without using RentLinx, whatever content you post there is specific to Zillow. Like if you post to Zillow, it won't modify your RentLinx listing that that we post to Zillow, if that makes sense.
Okay, how are we doing on questions here? I think we had one back here I missed.
You're welcome.
Okay, Alicia said, yeah, that she lists call on some of her properties because she rents by the week or by a school term. Yeah, there's some tricky situations like that out there. Make sure that in your property description you're clearly listing that the rent is by the week or by the school term. And it might be worth trying breaking that down by the month just so you show up in the search results if somebody's looking for something, in a certain price range. You might try that and then just make it clear, not rented by the month, this is school term only type of thing. Okay, Jackie, any other questions? How are we doing?
Yes, we had a question asked if can RentLinx be used to list single-family homes for sale? And at this time, we are strictly a rental site, but if you do have a home that is a rent-to-own option, or you have a rental home that you could possibly be interested in selling, you can still list that on our site and then just have the purchase price at the bottom of your descriptive paragraph.
Okay, yep, perfect. Jessica asked, she said, our rents are based on income. So yeah, also if you have rent based on income, there's a place that you just check that box inside RentLinx, and we advertise your property as rent based on income. So that's fine. We understand those particular properties are not going to have a specific rent amount in them, and the renters will be searching for rent based on income properties, so you should be fine there.
Another question we had is, does RentLinx get forwarded to any other websites, or is it just RentLinx? Which I am very, very glad that you asked this, because RentLinx, very rarely will somebody say they heard about you through RentLinx. RentLinx is kind of the back end where you enter your information, and then we feed your information out to tons of different websites. Free websites if you're using the basics, like HotPads, Zillow, Trulia, Show Me the Rent. Some of the higher level premium sites, if you're our Plus client, you get priority listings on many of our free sites, but you also get listings on like rentals.com, rentalhouses.com, Move-In Realtor, condo.com, and many, many more. And we're always advancing those partnerships.
Yes, and then we had a question of, do you have a list of the websites that RentLinx posts to? The best way to get a list is to log into your RentLinx account, because we have some nationwide websites, some statewide websites, some regional websites, some specific apartment association websites. So it depends on where your particular property is located, which websites you're going to be on. So log into your RentLinx account, then over on the left, there is a quick link called Choose Websites, C-H-O-O-S-E, Choose Websites. Click on that, and you will see which websites we have you advertised on. We automatically put you on as many as we can get you on, depending on the level of advertising you've chosen. But that is the best way to see which websites. Keith is asking, is it better to offer appliances or doesn't it matter? Keith, I would say it depends on your specific market. So one good way to do this, a tip is go to our renter-facing site, which is called showmetherent.com. Type in the specific address of your property and the property type you have, house, duplex, apartment, and then do a search. You will get a list of all the competitors in your area. And if most of your competitors are offering appliances, then it's probably better if you do too. So it depends on your market. So see, and it depends on what the price point is. Maybe yours is priced more attractively because you don't have appliances, but that's the best way to tell. It depends on what your competitors are doing. Can you post, okay, Julianne is asking, can you post rooms only for rent? Yes, we do. You can post a community with multiple units, a house, which is one unit, or our third listing option when you list a new property is just a room for rent. So yes, that is an option. Let's see.
Did you see Alicia's comment about weblinks?
Oh, thank you, Alicia. Very nice. Okay, so Alicia is asking us to remind everyone on this webinar today that another way you can get exposure is to have RentLinx power the listings on your own company website. So Alicia does that in Northern Michigan. Thank you, Alicia. And that is another way we can drive a lot of traffic for you. And actually, renters do really, really like to see up-to-date, fresh listings on your own website. They consider that kind of the gold standard. Once they get to your website, that's like, okay, this is the person that owns or manages the property. I can trust this information. So if you would like RentLinx to save you some time, and RentLinx has a little tool called weblinks. We plug it into your existing website, and then every time you update your RentLinx account, you add a photo or change your rent, your website is automatically up to date always. It's a cool thing. It works. It works really well. Is RentLinx connected?
Okay, Keith wanted.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you're reading that right now.
Yeah. Keith, is RentLinx connected with rental professionals? I'm not sure.
I'll answer that, Amanda. Yeah,
okay.
No, not at this time. Rental Professionals is not a partner of ours. I do believe they're a locator service, and we specifically partner with other listing services online specifically.
So if Rental Professionals is a locator, they might be using RentLinx. We do have locators that list with us and advertise properties through RentLinx. We have another one here. Oh, does RentLinx deal with commercial listings like offices and retail? No. RentLinx specializes in residential rental housing, and we focus on that. We don't do for sale housing, and we don't do commercial. So we're trying to make RentLinx your best go-to site for advertising your residential rental properties and focusing all of our efforts on that. There are other sites out there that do commercial, and I'm not remembering them off the top of my head. Let's see. Is there a way that people can email me if they are? So Shanaz is asking if people can email. Yes, renters, when they see your ads, I'm hoping I'm answering your question correctly. When renters see your RentLinx ads out there on the internet across this vast web network of websites, I think it's up to 129 websites out there that we connect with, they will either call you or they will fill out a contact form, and then RentLinx will email you. So we keep your email address private so it's not picked up by spam bots out there, and all of our partner sites will put up a contact form where the renter fills out their name, their phone number, their email, and any question they have about your property, and then we send you the email.
One thing I do want to say about that is with RentLinx Basic, you can list one email address, and then if you decided to use RentLinx Plus, you can list more than one email address to receive the leads to as well. And then also with RentLinx Basic, we do not track the phone calls. So thoughts on that too?
Yeah, that's another difference between Basic and Plus. With Plus, you get phone call recording and tracking. So every renter that calls you is automatically tracked and recorded, so you can go back and listen to your phone calls and make sure you haven't missed any leads. Patrick says he forgot his username. No problem. The best way, this happens all the time. The best way to do it is to go to rentlinx.com. There's a contact us. Say, fill out a little form. Fill out the form there. Say you lost your RentLinx ID. We'll look it up for you and email it back to you. Or you can call our 800 number, which is 800-510-5469. We look up user IDs all the time. No problem. I put washers and dryers in many of my units because the landlord has to pay the water bills. Okay, that was from William. Statement. Okay. Oh, and is it best? Oh, and his question, is it best to post that? Yes. Actually, if you are paying the water bill and you include washers and dryers, perfect. Make sure that's in your ad. Renters want to know that. Can you email the presentation to us? Yes. I will, probably next week, we will email you a link to the video recording of this presentation, and we will send you a copy of the slides to all the attendees today. Oh, Patrick found his RentLinx ID already. Perfect. Okay, so Shanez is asking for the cost of Plus. Okay, so as of last week, we now have 2 versions of Plus. Traditionally, our paid advertising service was Plus per lead, which gets you featured on all of the websites, plus additionally placed on some pay-to-list websites that you just can't get on for free. That's $10 per verified lead. That's per verified email and phone call from renters interested in your property. And you set your own monthly cap, so there's no runaway bills. You decide how much you want to spend a month. You can turn it on and off whenever you want. And we verify every email, every phone call to make sure that it's actually a renter contacting you about your property. You never get charged for vendors or next door neighbors or current residents or duplicate calls or even dumb questions like, do you take dogs? And if your ad clearly states no dogs, you don't pay for those either. So we try to make those leads as high quality as possible. The other, our new product is if your property is 20 units or less, if you're a house, a duplex, or say a 10-unit apartment building, you can now sign up for Plus for small properties, which is a flat fee of $50 per property per month, okay, with a guarantee of at least 5 leads. And there's no cap on the number of leads per month you can get for that, so you might get quite a bit more. Okay, next question. Would RentLinx consider a webinar specific to the New York City market? Yes, New York City is a very unique market and all on its own. Yeah, actually, years ago I heard a comedian say that New York City was its own country. We have a ton of listings in New York City. That's something that we are looking at fine-tuning our system to better serve the New York market. RentLinx Basic is free to New York listings. If you're in New York, you can't use Craigslist without paying. So RentLinx is very popular in New York. We might consider that. Thanks for that suggestion.
Yeah, and I think if you have listings in New York City specifically, it is this webinar, I'm so glad you attended today because it's extremely important to make sure that you have as many details in your listing as possible because renters there have very specific needs and will want to make sure that you really want to make sure that you can capture them as much as possible by making sure that they know exactly what they're getting and that you have. Yeah.
Okay, and Gail, another quick tip for any locators that are on the call today or realtors, particularly in the New York market, is we understand that locators are not listing the specific street address of the property, which is fine. So what you need to do that in the RentLinx system is when you put the property in, put the specific street address in the listing. That way we can geocode you accurately on the maps. Then go back and edit the listing, delete out the specific street number, so it just says the street name or maybe the intersection. And then, since you need to know which property it is that you're showing on that street, put the specific street address in under private notes. You'll see that when you log into RentLinx, there's a little box over on the left that says private notes on the property details page for each property. That way you can have a notation for yourself, and that will never go out live on any of your ads. That's just for you to see what specific property it is that you are advertising. Okay, it looks like we're running. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us today. We had quite a few people that stayed past our end time for this question and answer session. We always like the more interactive and casual part of just chatting and answering questions. It's my favorite part. It's a lot more fun. Okay, I don't see any more questions coming in, so we are going to wrap it up for today. As you leave the webinar today, there will be a very, very short, like 10-second survey. If you could answer that for us, we would appreciate the feedback. And enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for attending.